Hi, good evening. I'm pausing a little bit because something strange is happening with my video. I'm seeing again everything like double. It's it's not like in the mirror. It's late. It's coming late, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I made a video in Serbian last week about choices, and I was hesitant to make that video, but for this one I just really wasn't feeling like making it because yeah, I haven't been feeling really well after that video. Um I'm having signals here, so yeah, I'm being given support. I haven't been really feeling well. I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, it has been a really long video. It lasted for 2 hours, but because of what I needed to explain and say, it really couldn't last less. And I hope this one is gonna be is not gonna be that long. But honestly, I don't remember everything I've said because I was repeating in Serbian video what I was speaking about in English because every week I discover something new. So things are changing really, really fast. I think it's the right time to speak about choices and about what we are giving our consent to. And I know there has been a lot of talk about it, especially, you can find everywhere post text videos in English about sovereignty, but not in my language, not in Serbian. So this is the previous video was a bit longer. Uh, so yes, I was also speaking about a little bit more about MK Ultra programming. I explained it a little bit more, but as far as I saw, uh, um, it, it was not understood properly because uh, I recommended what they should, what people should read if they're interested in it, because it's really explained well what the meaning of sleeper is, how they are programmed, and what is done. I mean, I'm at the moment I'm really under some beam, and it's not very nice sensation. So yeah, it's, my mind is slowing down a little bit because it's arousing some things that are not so nice. Anyways, that's part of MK Ultra programming. That was part of my program. I spoke a little bit about it. So when I said MK Ultra programming, you just imagine immediately that it's a hypnotic suggestion and that you are being triggered by post hypnotic suggestions. That's just a very small part of it, and it's for a maybe general population, and maybe somebody that they're not too interested in. They're interested in everybody, but not. Anti-altar programming and satanic ritual abuse is one and the same. I don't know which part of it you didn't understand. I spoke a little bit about the movie that they're using and the other movies, and it in movies and visuals go directly to your subconscious. But when you're being programmed, that's just a part of the story. Uh, uh, you are watching the same movie over and over again for 24 hours, 48 hours, God knows how long. So it goes directly into your subconscious. And can you imagine when that's being done to a child who is naturally in theta state? Their brain waves are lower, and so they're more suggestible. It doesn't really have to be that much, but if you're exposed to that nonstop, it really goes into your brain. So it's not only about what it's being said to you, it's about vibration, it's about sensation, it's about sound and the frequency. And it's not, or I said it's the word or the touch, and generally it is. Well, especially if you have somebody close to you, or I don't know, call you on the phone or something like that. In my case, it was frequency and vibration. And frequency and vibration was to instigate fear, and the amount of fear that was being felt. And it's this kind of vibration that I'm feeling right now, because it's not only the fear, um, it's something deeply that brings you, you're all of a sudden, and it's like you're just, it brings you, slows you down, and it's as if I'm vibrating this high, and all of a sudden this brings me, and I crash on the ground, and everything hurts. Although I didn't really, I mean, I was not anywhere, but somehow, my whole body starts. It feels like this vibration feels as if my body is somehow changing, as if it's changing. I have a feeling that it's some kind of a metal vibration, and it could bend metal or something like that. So what is it intended to do is to run the programs. Everything that's been going on, it's been intended to run the programs of the sleepers. And there can be several kinds of sleepers, many kinds of sleepers, or not several, many kinds of sleepers. They're not just the ones who are going into actions. The ones who are going into actions mainly, and are the ones that they're paying, and who are very conscious of what they're doing. The ones who are creating riots, for instance, and stuff like that, are mostly paid, and not all of them, not all of them are, I mean, sleepers. Sleepers are used for something else, and besides, very some strange actions, and you know, like going into combat or something like that. But sometimes you're not doing that. This on this plane, you are mainly I don't know. You can be used to gather information, and then you're briefed about that. You can be used to remote view and be briefed about that. You and then brief about that. Yeah, then you can be used to disseminate information and to disseminate confusion. You can be used to just generate information, or to just uh, give false information. Many different things. I can't remember everything. Everything is there. You want to know? Just read it. Just I'm saying, because people watched what I said, and then they're giving out information in accord, from what I heard or what they understood, which is really, really small amount. I mean, I'm speaking from personal experience here, and I don't understand everything. I didn't understand everything. And it's not the whole story. And post hypnotic suggestions are just a small, small portion of it. And when you are being programmed, you usually, I mean, I said you don't remember the programmer. And I saw the mine wore, they usually wear a mask. Mine wore a mask of a pig. I mean, it's very hard to remember, because it becomes, you know, your energy around here, mine becomes like clay or something. It's morphing, and it's not a nice energy. And with me, it was something was put into me. It was like an operation through my left eye. And I know what I said about what's happening with the adrenal hormone in the left eye. That was not it, because that's happening with babies. I was a bit older when this was like, uh, they stole the codes that were in me, copied them, and put in the codes of their own, of some sort. And if I understood properly, it was a Morse code, because I've been hearing lately, like when I was home and I was sleeping with my laptop in the room, which was off, I would hear like sounds like this coming from it. And last time I sat to make this video in Serbian, it was like you have a zipper, and you have, zipper, and somebody is constantly doing this with a zipper. But the metal zippers and stuff like that, who create those zippers create a lot of sound. And I've been hearing, like, the last 2 years, uh, when certain things start happening to me in the morning, I've been hearing the sound, and the sound, it's a code, as I understood now, the Morse code that was supposed to trigger me. And as for me, it was about the energy that I carry, and it was because they couldn't use the code, they copied it, and but they couldn't use it because they don't know what they're for, and that's because I don't know what they're for. I haven't been told, and I've been repeatedly refused to be told. So basically, and it and you, they're of no use to them. But however, that also means that some of my talent have been transferred somewhere else. So yeah, it's kind of a, it happens to everybody. It's just that I'm discovering, not everybody. I'm just sorry. I'm just thinking of how many people does this happen. I'm just discovering things, and I saw this written in it. It's sort of like from a child's perspective. That was a curse that was supposed, that's it. What it is, it's supposed to prevent me from remembering what has happened and prevent me from remembering of my own talent, abilities, and who I was, and not only I'm not talking about previous lives, but a specific event. And it was in a tunnel. It was in Antarctica, and it was an experiment. I'm not quite sure what kind. There were many other beings, children there, alive and not alive. And yeah, I couldn't remember everything. And basically, I'm telling you this because this is what the programming is. And they're not only training you what to do, with certain people, they are desensitizing you. Certain people they use for their energy. I mean, different agendas with everybody, depending on what they need you for, what's your lineage. And I said that the way they choose you is through either you have certain talents or you're not being paid attention. There is nobody who's going to look for you. Uh, you don't have too many people around you that are going to be searching for you, or it's because of your lineage. Because of your lineage in this lifetime and in past lifetime. I mean, it's lineage from every every lifetime. And like I said, they target mainly, and it's also, yeah, they target important families, and in certain countries they targeted people, children of um, um, soldiers, well, military people, because they were training them to be spies. You're a spy. You're a spy for them, and you don't know, and many other things. So uh, mm, they target mainly, as much as I saw through my sessions and from what is happening with me, they mainly targeted the goddess energy, and actually lineage, or um, not the lineage, but whoever had connections or was carrying, was a conduit for the Divine Mother in past, and mainly priests and priestesses, and the ones who were having a lineage with Atlantis and Lemuria, but mainly Atlantis, who were priests and priestesses and teachers in the Atlantis. And I spoke about some of my lives in one one of my lives that I remembered in Atlantis, and I was a teacher, and um, this has to do with some rivalry. Uh, uh, I don't know if it's a clan rivalry, or I don't know how to call it. But it's coming from the other planets. And as much as I could remember, and so from my clients and from what they told me, and when they would wanted to know where is our connection, or where they just some information came through them for some reason, or through other people in different ways. It has to do with galactic wars and wars with Orion, and those are, in my case, are Orion beings, and mainly they are reptilian Orion beings, but there's a mixture because at some point in galactic history the families were mixed, and grays. Um, so one other thing that they also do as a part of the experiment, they create clones, and I don't know very much about that now because I don't understand all of it. Um, but like I said, it has to do with my lineage and preventing me from doing what I'm supposed to do in the future. Basically, they know pretty much everything about you because they follow you through lifetimes. And I already mentioned that they had technology, they have technology that can change timelines. That can change timelines, and they basically change your past. They can go back in and change your past. So I don't know. I mean, how much this has actually been happening, but I didn't get to everything. So yeah, I was in a much better space last week when I was speaking about it. I felt a lot a lot better in my body, but after that, things have happened because I spoke about this, and they're trying to run the programs, which I mean they're not there, but there's obviously something yet that I haven't discovered completely. So like and there's also some particular birds like ravens that I was mentioning. I don't know if those are ravens or crows or whatever, but they carry very strange energy, and when they start making noises, they something I was feeling that something sort of drops on my head, and that sort of starts this vibration and frequency that is really unhealthy for me and creates this what I was, and it also instigates fear because I was supposed to be, I don't know, either creating something for them, or I don't know, but what I saw from my sessions with other people also, when they were interested in the priestesses, especially who are Isis priestesses and Divine Mother priestesses, doesn't really matter, but the name, the archetype was at that moment, when they were that, because it's the creator energy, and the energy sort of enhances everything 3 times. So everything that they send, and everything they put in you, or the vibration that they're sending, you enhance it, and and then everything around you start, as manifesting in that way. Yes, you are manifesting it because it's inside of you, but it's sort of not your, I mean, it's put inside of you so that you create this vibration and circumstances and other things with this vibration. I have also, I mean, the ability is that I've been told that I had in the past, bringing life to spirit into matter, and bringing things, from other dimension and other physical. And I mean, I don't know who's been using those talents, but I certainly want them back because it's, they're mine, and then I have the right to use them more than anyone else. So I've been angry, I've been sad, and I've been angry. And I thought, okay, the biggest shock has gone, and now I can just see what else comes out. And I thought I've been discovering crazy things, and not nothing crazy anymore can super. But then uh, this comes out, and I'm like, I don't know which genre, movie genre this is, because it's like, Is it Star Wars or Terminator or what? Because it's really, oh God, it's beyond beyond everything I could imagine at all. So I'm just past talking about what has recently happened to us, and I've been talking about it in my Serbian video. But I just people are, I mean, they're telling us lies, and I watch TV, and I they say something about the certain network, and they say it doesn't exist, and it's a conspiracy theory, and and it's what am I what is the word that I'm looking for? I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Uh, Legend. It's a legend new network. And I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing the antennas everywhere. I'm seeing the commercials for it, like street commercials. What are you saying? It's insane. I mean, they're making us crazy, and we're allowing it because nobody is doing anything about it. We're quarreling with each other. I'm quarreling with TV. I found myself, well, I mean, they were speaking a mainstream media, mind you, about uh, children, and children being abducted, and everything that I've been telling you about. And they're making it sound like a conspiracy theory, and it's a doctor who's talking about it, and it's at least something is being mentioned, but they're making it sound so sensationalistic, and so I don't know how. But I'm telling you, I've not only that I've dealt with it, but and I'm discovering out, oh, fuck, I've been there. It's like, I mean, not astrally, and I don't know, is this the um should I say I was so lucky to be able to speak about it to you now, because there are many who are not. And then, um, why I mention all this, because our minds go a little bit crazy when you hear something like this. I mean, I've even had friends and people who I spoke about what's going on with me, who couldn't, their mind couldn't handle it. I just see them go offline for a moment, and they became angry with me. So I just, yeah, but this is no lie. I know what's happening with me, and the people who have been helping me also know, something is up. Something is up. So this is the way we're giving consent to it. We're not, not believing in it by allowing us to be sidetracked, to be distracted, to I don't know. I mean, I did the same thing. I cannot say that I didn't. I just I was in peace studies, and I heard about all of these things before. Some of these things before, not all. I can't say that I really knew everything. I didn't know about the adrenochrome, for instance. I didn't know about that it goes so far. And when I came back from my peace studies, and like I spoke about it, I was in the camps where children have been rescued. Nobody wanted to hear about it. They didn't care because it's not here. It's happening somewhere else. And I gave up. I gave up. You gotta make a living. You gotta continue with your own life, and it just overwhelms you at some point, and you're deeply into I don't know, is it a 3D or the reality that they wanted us to create for them, because it's all about that. It's all about what we're, with our consent, creating for somebody else and not for ourselves, because because we don't even know what we can do and not who we are, but what we can do, what we came here to do, and why we came here. And I don't say like it's everybody's task to do something like this. It's not everybody's mission, but it's completely different when you when you really get rid of all those conditioning and programming. I mean, it's one thing when you're conditioned with your upbringing and everything you brought from past lives, but this is something different. These are artificial programs. This is what telling you that this is not the post hypnotic suggestions only. These are artificial programs that are in your, some chips are physically in your body, some are in the ethereal body. To me, they were in my ethereal body. I mean, I had so many problems with my teeth. I hear the side, and I mean, you can, if you listen to my previous videos, you can hear me complaining about it. And I literally saw on the side like some metal that fell down from my face in a meditation. You know, and like this week also, I had problems, and this tooth broke because I had attacks because of my previous video. This one because there I feel something that left here, and something as if it feels as if I have teeth around here, which is not the case for this side. And I don't know whose is it, but it's not mine. But there was something here that they were trying to run. They were trying to connect to. Basically, with everything that is going on, because they need to wake up as many sleepers as they can, and everything that's going on recently, given what they need you for, and especially like those clones that I mentioned, they're using them for army. They used to weaken you, especially for the people who are they created for. They extract your energy because uh, they need your energy to be run to. Well, I shouldn't say to be alive. This is done with technology. It's not our technology, it's alien technology. And I don't know how it is done and I don't understand it. But I've been asked, I mean, if I have fatigues and if I feel tired all the time and if I feel pain, and yes, especially at night, and I have these moments where I'm lacking time, where I don't know what happened, or where I think only an hour left, and I look at the phone, and I see like I thought it's like it was, I don't know, for instance, 5 or 8, like an hour ago, and then I look at it again, and it's still 5 or 8, and that means that basically you are being taken to somewhere, to missions, or to training, because they have technology that and they can take you from one place to another in a split second, and they can feed time. And uh, those particular beings are used for, and they need your energy to be mobile. So they they take your energy in that moment so that they can run them. And what are they used for? I don't really know. I don't know. I don't understand. And I know this sounds completely crazy, but you don't know. I mean, I know what I've been experiencing this entire week, and this is it. So basically, they're trying to connect to you so that they can plug into you. So I mentioned people who were plugging into you, the beings were plugging into you, but these are also the ones they're sort of, they think that they have the right to you because they are of you, something like that. In my case, they're all male, but I don't know in other cases. I don't know if everybody has them. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't know how do they choose who is going to be an experiment for what. Um, and this is so vicious. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. So how do we give consent for something like this? This was something that I was wondering for a really long time. So, from the soul plane, you have a certain lesson, and you want to come to finish that lesson, or but in some cases, you're coming to liberate parts of yourself, parts of your soul that haven't been free, and that you have lost in a long time ago, or that have been corrupted, or and if your lesson is liberty and sovereignty, then you're going to be experiencing all of this. Some people won't have a clue what I'm saying, and it won't resonate with them. And maybe some come back later, and it resonates with them, but some will understand with their heart. So from what I understood, this my some were using my energy, and my light language was also stolen. Some sent to somebody else. So basically, I thought that cannot happen, but it's a different when you activate somebody, and it comes from the inside, and the codes are coming through you, and you are spreading it through them and lifting other people up. But it's completely different when it's not yours, and you're just showing off in the shows. And yeah, I mean, I've seen pretty much everybody who is part of this story. Just missing some bits and pieces yet. And I also do understand that, like speaking about handlers and the programmers and the rest who are on the other end of this story, not mine, but everybody else's. I mean, they're also being programmed, they're also being used, and they're also very traumatized. They are very desensitized. This is why I mentioned this, especially if they have missions for you, if they have plans for you, they will desensitize you so that you become one of their soldiers, one of their conscious. So you do those things consciously, so you're part of the group. And I don't know, could I even be angry anymore about, because it's if you haven't watched any of the exhibition shows of Lena Abramovich, and everything that she's saying through that story is programming. It's MK Ultra programming, and it's everything that's happened to her, and it's completely desensitizing. I'm sorry if this is it's not nice. It's rude to I don't know, just calling somebody like that. But the only reason why I went to see the show is I mean, I understood something obviously through that. So it's for me, that's not art. It's energy collecting, and it's the way you are being used and programmed, because I know about symbolism and other stuff that I've been telling you about. So it's not, it's happening to many of us, to majority of us, and we don't even know it, because most of us don't remember. We are not supposed to remember, and you are supposed to do what they want you to do, and it's only a small amount of people, of beings, whatever, I don't know how should I call them. And it's through our consent, because if we don't say anything, if we don't say no, then it's considered that we're saying yes. If we are being misinformed, and we don't have a big amount of information about it, and we don't know everything, and so that we are making decision only on a partial information, and that's a consent. And it's everything that we've been shown, like for instance in the movies and stuff like that. um, it's to connect us to a certain energy stream, to certain intent that already exists. So most of us, we're not aware of this intent. I'm not sure that even those who are participating in it are aware of the intent. Maybe only one person, or a small amount of them, is aware of it. But the moment we're connecting to this stream, we are giving our energy to it. We don't even know. We don't even know because we don't question what's behind it. We don't question what's behind certain practices that we are being told that it's for our own good, that it's normal, that everybody's doing it, so we should do it. And people are being aggressive towards you if you don't do it and if you question about it. For instance, now well, my brother who's ill, who has an illness from birth, cerebral palsy, he is going to a certain club in our city, and he likes going there because has friends and spends time with some people there. It's local NGO. So now, uh, because they wanted to reopen, they have been told from the state that they have to test everybody. They have to test staff and beneficiaries so that they can start working, test them for virus for whatever is happening. And I mean, they couldn't go anywhere. They were locked inside. They didn't go anywhere because they depended on other people anyhow. It's not like they need it for work. They need it for travel. I mean, it's not mandatory for travel. It's not mandatory for anybody. Nobody here in the capital, in the other areas, weren't asked. Didn't ask their employees to do that. It obviously depends on the local community and on whoever is in charge of that certain, I don't know, practice or work. But this is how they present it to you. I mean, God knows what happens with those results. Not, I don't think that they're tampering it. I mean, I would be suspicious of what happens with the genetic material because they don't even tell them what the results are. They only tell them if they have antibodies or something like that. They can tell them, yes, now you can reopen, now you can start working, and people are going to do it without questioning it if you present it to them like that, and they don't go too much into it because they think they depend on you, and it's the other way around. Actually, it's the other way around. And God knows, I mean, maybe I would be the same way, but like I said, I wasn't interested in some of the things. I didn't know. I mean, I knew, but I wasn't interested in how. In 70s we had the cases of missing babies like in the middle of 20th century, now in 80s also, or in 90s. It's been recently, and I haven't been following up on that because I wasn't, honestly, I was not all that interested, because like majority of people is not interested until it happens to you. But I've been called to a certain mission, and then I discovered that some of the things have happened to me, and I've been sort of in a position where I have to speak about. I mean, I don't have to speak about it. Nobody is asking me, but I'm inclined, and I'm feeling this urge from the inside to share and what's happening with us. It's happening with all of us. When we don't pay attention, we are not informed, we are not properly educated, we are manipulated, and this is how we're giving consent to it. I've been a professor. I've been teaching my students. There was not an experiment, but there is a social phenomena called the Genovese phenomena, which I think is what is happening in Italy. I don't know what time, when was it, but I just remember the experiment because we were talking about the pro-social behavior and how you develop skills for this kind of behavior. And majority of people won't react when they see something happening even in the street in front of them, because first of all, some misinterpret the situation and won't know what's happening because they don't have enough information. Secondly, they don't think it's their place to interfere even when somebody is in danger. Thirdly, they all think that somebody else will react, and they rely on somebody else to react, and nobody does. In this case, this way, nobody actually reacts, and people are scared. Most of the time, people are scared, and what happened then is that somebody was attacking a woman on the street. She was coming back from home, I remember. It was dark. It was not too late, but it was dark. And she was actually being killed at that moment. Not mugged, but being killed. And all of her neighbors were watching, and nobody actually did anything. Nobody even called the police because they all expected that somebody else will react. And this way, people get hurt. Yes, you can get hurt while trying to react or make do something, but if everybody does something, not many people would get hurt, hopefully. So that's one of the things, one of the ways we're giving our consent to, by just, being bystanders, by not saying anything, by not doing anything, by quarreling with our TVs. I was quarreling with my TV lately. I was yelling at the TV because I was so pissed off from what they were saying, and because it was not true, because they were making it look like a hoax. And we quarrel with social networks now, or we quarrel with each other on social networks, or we quarrel with invisible beings or whoever is behind it because they're blocking our content or whatever. And we don't actually we don't actually make any difference. It doesn't, because we think that one individual won't make a difference, because we are scared, because we're wondering what's going to happen to us, and things like that. But when you are online and on stream, and you cannot not answer that call. So from the last time, I promised I'm going to tell you a little bit about birth certificates and how we are giving consent. We're giving consent through our birth certificates. And I've heard people, I'll explain how. I've heard people here speaking about the mark of the beast and having theories about it. One of the theories was even about the Cyrillic alphabet, which is not true. It has nothing to do with it. So it was just people's mind playing games with each other, with themselves. Um, we all have birth certificates, and birth certificate was not always a practice that everybody had. I think there are still places in the world where people don't have it, but if you want to be um, if you're in the system, you're going to have a birth certificate. If you're a citizen, if you're living in a certain country, you're going to have a birth certificate, unless you're living in some remote tribe somewhere. So everybody has a birth certificate, and I wasn't sure about that those information, because I didn't properly understand everything, but then I understood it and I was completely shocked. um, I had clients who were speaking about the mark of the beast also, and they had uh, mm, some memories of tortures and a mark, like being branded in the left eye. So I'm wondering about things like that, and I'm just connecting the dots of some information that I've been receiving through certain ways. And I showed it already, but our birth certificates, uh, our names on our birth certificates are written in capital letters. For my language, it's in our official letter, and I don't know, in every different language it's in an official letter. But I didn't even. I thought, when I first heard about it, I was convinced that in our birth certificate it's not written in this way. I thought it was small letters, and it's different, and we don't have this practice. However, yeah, uh, it's written in capital letters, and you can check your own birth certificate. So how is that our birth certificates are giving consent, our consent to anything, and how they're actually binding us? But our birth certificate is actually our brand. It's the brand of the beast. Our birth certificate is what is creating slaves from us. Because there have been certain decrees when those are created. So the practices are presented to everybody as something normal, something that everybody does, something that is necessary, absolutely necessary for you. So you have to do it and accept it. So um, in 1302, the Pope Bonifacius, oh, I don't know what the pronunciation of this name correct, the eighth, has created a decree that's called Unam Sanctum, and it's saying that all souls and bodies of all of the creatures that are coming into this world are belonging to Rome, and they're under this decree. I'm reading for my notes because I don't want to say something wrong. And yeah, this decree is valid uh, until this day, and it's valid through your entire lifetime, and possibly through other lifetimes too, unless you break it, you rescind it, and ask your rights back. So you ask your property back um, through the birth certificate. Uh, this this bond is created, and how you there is a practice, and I didn't even know that we have this practice in Serbia, but I checked. When baby is being born, they take blood samples from babies, and in Serbia they take baby's blood from left heel the moment the baby is born, and in some other countries it's before they leave the maternity ward. Um, and they're saying it's for certain analysis, but as far as I've heard from other people, you're never being given those analyses. And because I didn't have my own children, so I checked with others who have children and people after my video that spoke to me. Also, everybody's been through this. We have all been through this. So from the insides of Serbia, for instance, we do have this practice, and from the insides of Serbia, this is sent to Belgrade, and they don't know what actually happened, what kind of analysis those are. And from that, certain registries are made that they're sent to the Vatican. So this is how they know everything about you. They know all of your diseases. They know your origins. They know everything about you like this. But not only that, uh, this is the ancient practice. Actually, it's a dark magic practice called Leviticus, and at some certain point they were trained to do that. So you basically make a blood covenant with Vatican, and and this is how they own you. This is how you give them consent, because you have a blood covenant with them, so you are working for them. You are creating for them. And this is not to say that all who are like the nurses and all the doctors and everybody who and the midwives are they all participating in it. Majority of them don't have a clue what's happening. They're not trained in it. It's just presented to them as something that's normal, and they do it. And so this means that all the souls that are coming to earth are belonging to the Pope. So you create a blood covenant with Rome, and this blood covenant is sent to Rome. And with this, you have become a corporation, which I'll explain a bit later. Um, I know this is hard to swallow, and I'm stopping a little bit because and at this moment there is a lot of not so nice energy. So, but I'm I'm gonna continue speaking about it. Um, yeah, what I wanted to say is that if you, any chance, refuse to do so, which has happened, like you don't know the name of the baby yet, you don't want to give it name yet, or you want your baby to give themselves their names whenever they decide, like some people want it to, you can be charged. You can be, uh, um like for instance, as I heard in UK, you have to pay like £1,000 if you don't name your baby, meaning if you don't register your baby, and you are registered by a certain number, and the number is on your birth certificate. So this is the number that you have on your IDs and other stuff, but this is also the number that is in the register in the room. So this is the mark of the beast, and this is your bill. This is your account, because through this you is also created a trust fund for you, because those birth certificates were a certain amount of money, and I don't understand that very much. And this is why I said that you become a corporation, and I don't know what happens to that, so I don't want to go into that. I just want you to make sure that you don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm telling you all this not because you this is something that you're going to use to ask for money or something like that. This is the There is a tool that is that can help you in your liberation. So it's about liberation, and it's about the soul. It's about breaking the blood covenant, not about how much money those birth certificates are worth. I mean, if we are ever needed to know that, the time will surely come for that. But now you have to take the take back your consent. This is this is all about. So yeah, you can only in some of the countries, because some of my clients who have heard about this from me have checked, they researched, and they found out that in some countries, people who didn't want to do that, for whatever reason, not only they have been fined, um, with money, but they they went to court, and they wanted to take their child, because I don't know what was there, neglect or something, whatever they say, but there is a they have this, um, it's in Germany, that happens in Germany, that you can take your baby if you don't want to, register and give the name to your baby. So when you not it's not your that doesn't mean that you're not free if you have a name. This means that you're not free when you are officially given a name and you're registered by that name, because you become a corporation. How this happens is that during in 196 is in 1666 in the UK, after after the plague, there has been a law made, uh, S2EKV, which is another decree that has been given, that basically was being brought because of the lot of people were dying, and this was a certain decree that was aimed at people who traveled and worked at the sea. It basically means that you are at the sea. Uh, this is an admiralty law actually in UK, but what everything that I'm telling you here, it's a word game. It's a word game that you have to understand, and you have to understand what's behind it, so that you understand, and they're saying to you. So these kind of laws, when they're used, they're not working for you; they're working against you, so that you don't even understand what they're saying. I don't know if this is a commercial law or a Roman law, because this is not my um, expertise. I'm just explaining something you, because I come across it, and I found a liberation tool. I did it myself, and I saw that it works, and I'm sharing, like so far I've been sharing it all deliberation tools with people, and I'm doing the same here. I'm just informing you, and I'm inclined to do that, but I also have the permission from those who created this to do so. So I asked so that more people can know about it. The Holy See, which is the Pope, and for me that expression was unfamiliar because we call it a Holy Chariot. It's different. This is why I didn't understand everything. This means this is why the Admiralty law, and this why that at sea, because this means that the Holy See actually represents the divine. The sea is the womb, and it's the divine mother, the creatrix of all life, uh, and which is basically the domination of a patriarchal system over the divine mother, because all souls come through the divine mother, and we are her creation, her children. So this is to say that everything that goes through her belongs to the Vatican and the Holy See, and it's a word game because the womb is represented as an ocean or the sea, and then the second chakra also, as the best of my understanding. This is I'm telling you how I understand it. This law basically means that you are not alive. So it existed for the people who have died or are lost, who were literally lost at the sea because they were shipwrecked, or they worked as um, sailors, and they had to prove they're alive in some way, and until they prove they are alive, uh, somebody else has their assets and have the right to represent them. So this is why basically you need a representative, like a lawyer, and some representative. And this is to say that all the people in after the big plague in UK, all physical beings were that it proclaimed that at sea, and in this way they're proclaimed that they're not a living entity, they're a fictional entity. Uh, so in 1933, this certain decree has made to for children also, because this was only for the adult, and then in 1933 this took over for the children. So this basically means when you are being registered, when you're given a name and you have a birth certificate, this means that you're not a physical entity, that you are dead, and you're dead at sea, and your parents have abandoned you. And given that your property is your physical body too, and your soul as a body through which the spirit comes, they have the right to that. So from the soul plane, it's a little bit different. But I'm telling you what's happening on this plane, and the depths of manipulation and the illusion that we are being drawn into and led to believe, to buy. So um, this is how it's possible for the 8 million children to be missing every year and nobody looks for them. This is how it's possible for even adults to be trafficked. This is how it's possible uh, to some people to be proclaimed insane and put in institutions, for their properties to be taken away, for them to be presented as criminals, and whatever, you name it. I don't know actually how often that happens in my country because I really am not familiar with the law. Maybe I'm telling you something wrong, but you have the facts and you can research for yourself. And this is why I'm giving you the facts to the best of my understanding. So if I am understanding something incorrectly, please forgive me. Don't hold it against me because I'm explaining it to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my understanding. Somebody else has explained this to me, I wouldn't know it if I haven't been explained it. I have I'm not going to say that I have been blind to it. I didn't know it, and when I first found out about it, and like I say, I didn't know that blood from the heel is it taken, heel prick test. How it This is how it's called. It's a practice in my country here too. I didn't know that. This is how I found out. So there is another decree that came about in 2013 from Pope Francis, and this decree is called the Motu Proprio. And by this decree actually says that nobody is under the law, not even him, not any ruler of any country. Um, n- no statesman, no. It's basically taking away the immunity from pretty much all of the officials, all of the diplomats, anybody. So this is something that is being issued by the Pope himself in his own office by his own accord. And actually, the Vatican is like underlying everything. I mean, he's underlying all law, and any legal system or anything actually reports to the Pope, and we, all of us, we support them with this. So this um, having said all this, I said that there is a liberation tool, that something has been created that can liberate you, and this is a 3-page document which is called Declaration of Divine Sovereignty. I There is a web page for this that explains a lot better everything that I've just said, and I'm going to share it in below in comments on the video when I post it. And I have been through this process, and this is why I'm sharing it with you, because I have felt it on my own skin and I've seen that it works. And actually, when I made the video in Serbia, um, I've been attacked because of it, and I have been placed on a hit list because of it, as much as I'm told. So this tells you how powerful this document actually is, and how powerful this liberation tool actually is. And it's no joke. And also because of that, I'm making public video and public proclamation of this. So just in case if anything happens. So this document has 3 pages. I cannot show you, but show it to you. There is a process of for this. Everything is explained in the web page, like I said, and it's in English. Um, I've explained it very thoroughly for those who don't speak English in Serbian speaking areas and other from the surrounding countries, so that they can understand it. So if you by any chance don't speak English and are from these areas, now the document is translated, so you can use it even if you don't speak English. So just to be clear, this has nothing to do with language or um, legalities. It's a spiritual tool, and it's about your breaking the covenant, the blood covenant, and reclaiming your energy, reclaiming your consent that has been stolen from you from Vatican. And yeah, first page of the document basically proclaims that you are taking back everything that is yours, meaning your energy, your body, because the only thing that you actually own in this realm, in this earthly plane, is your body. Your soul creates your body. I've seen it in my sessions, and if your soul creates your body, then it belongs to your soul, not to somebody else. So you decide what's going to happen with this body. You decide. uh, what's going to put in it, what's going to come out, and what's going to happen with what comes out from your body. So this document can also include children under 18. Under 18. There is a different one for male and for feminine sovereignty, and one for masculine sovereignty because the wordings are different. Um, because of the energy that you are grounding in this way and taking back, because different things has been done to this energy. So basically, with the first stage, with this document, with the whole of the document, you are saying that you are alive, that you have come back from being dead in the sea, and you are alive, and you're claiming back what's yours, and you don't need a representative. Uh, and you are claiming back your property in your land, because our bodies are our own land. And this is what actually means that you're sovereign. You're sovereign. This is why I have this crown now. And I've been saying, speaking in other videos in different reasons why I have it, and in past lives, memories and stuff. But this is because it's official now. I'm sovereign. I'm the queen of my own land, which is my body and everything created by me, through me, and everything, coming through my soul. And my soul is my property. It's not like I don't still believe that the whole soul can belong to somebody, but the parts of it have been corrupted or hidden from you or abducted or whatever has happened, so that you can reclaim it back, and that they can come back home, and that you claim them back as your children, or something that's yours. So this is what it says. That then it also says that anybody who wants to trade your body and anything of your property or your energy, anybody who wants to connect to you, who wants to drain your energy or corrupt your energy, or use it and proclaim like their own, or use your talents and proclaim their own, and whatever. I mean, you name it, whatever. I thought that all those scenarios are not possible, but many things seem to be possible. So whoever and whatever thinks that they want to do something to you or with your energy, or to plug into your energy, like you're their battery, they cannot do that anymore. And they have to make you, well, not make you an offer, but that makes them your subject. They're your subject because this is your sovereign land. You are the ruler of your land. You are the sovereign of your land, your subject. And they have to abide by your terms and conditions. This also means that if they want anything with you, they have to make you open, um, honest, offer that is has nothing hidden, nothing unsaid and unspoken. But having said all that, this doesn't mean that you can accept a bag full of money or a briefcase full of money or anything, because this also means that you give them back your consent. This is how they manipulate you into doing something for them. This is about your liberation. That there should be nothing that anybody can do or offer you, um, so you can give them consent of your soul and your body. So this also means that if anybody wants to come and put anything such as a vaccine or an injection or something like that, or a spray into your body because of your own good, or anything, you can say no, and you can, because you have the right to decide what goes in it. It has to be free will. This is a universe of free will. But if your free will is being manipulated and you don't have enough information, and something is presented to you as if you have to do it, and it's for your own good, and because you have to go back to work, or you can walk around, or you can travel, or whatever, uh, that means that you're giving your consent to them, but you know that you are giving your away your free will without even knowing it. But if somebody comes and makes an offer to you that is open and says everything to you, and you accept this offer, that means that you are giving conscious consent, which is even worse. For whatever reason, I mean, there's not even your life and should be something that you're going to give your consent or for something like this, because you are trapping yourself and buying into the lies, because you're being pulled back, straight back into not remembering and not knowing what's happening to you, and you have basically given them permission to do whatever they want. You, anything belonging to you, to any of your bloodlines, and this liberates the bloodline also, and lots of things. I cannot show the document because there is a non-disclosure agreement that you sign. It's for your own protection. It's a sort of a copyright, but it's mostly for the protection of the integrity of the document. So I'm saying all this because I have been really targeted. It says also this is created by the the trust, Earth Trust, and by the mothers who are who are single mothers and needed to protect their children from the abusers, and they couldn't do it in some other way. But it has also been created for the targeted individuals, which also means that it's also for the males, like the individuals whose energy and consciousness and body and like the things that are happening to me created for people like this too. Now it's available. It's available for everybody. And I'm basically explaining a little bit what is it for. So the second page is terms and conditions, and those terms, your terms and conditions, which means that in case they don't abide by your proclamation, they have to pay you a whole lot of money on your account, and then this also means I forgot to mention that you are owning the birth certificate, your birth certificate account, and you are claiming the right for it. So, in case they don't, to go back to terms and conditions, this means that then it also says where is this valid, which court, which is basically all earthly courts, and other conditions. Uh, Saying that you don't need a representative and that you don't need um, you don't need a sole representative. I'm just reading. Um, Let me just check. I'm checking. I'm sorry. Yeah, as I said, I told you everything. And the third page is about the motu proprio, the mother of repoussé. I mentioned, and why I mentioned it, because this explains it very well. It explains how why is this document valid, and where is it valid, and why is it so important, especially to the ones who are not very familiar with the law, like I myself am not. And basically, this explains also how the Roman cult, which is basically doing all this, was formed at the 11th century. It hijacked the Catholic Church, and the church was formed in the 8th century. And then by the 13th century, it hijacked the Byzantine Church, which is our Orthodox Church. And I thought this has nothing to do with us because we're not under Pope. And we're not directly under him. We don't have any, we're not subjects in religious terms. This has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with power, with money, and with um, rulership. and legal games. And by the way, they also from here do report the Pope. And why? Because, like I said, this shows that this last piece of document shows you how the entire legal system is, underpinned by the Vatican. And because by the 16th century, the cult took over the world, entire world. And with this document that I mentioned, that was created in 2013, this cult ceased to exist. There are only fractions now which are fighting for power between themselves. And basically, they are, this is also showing that they are separating from the professional elite in a sense. And they're saying that there is nobody under the rule of law. And they're acknowledging the supremacy of the golden rule, which is the same teaching as the teachings ascribed to Jesus Christ. And the rule of law means that all are subject to the rule of law, that nobody is above the law, including themselves. And if you think, how can this happen with this birth certificate trust fund that is created? We are actually funding the entire Vatican, and through corporations, all corporations are connected to the Vatican through the law. And with the birth certificate, you became a corporation. So you are connected to Vatican by the law. So from the Vatican, you're connected to the crown, any crown, to the bar in certain countries, to the laws as itself, to judges, to people. And they're connected to Vatican through the money. So because the Vatican, through this birth account, gives money, we give money, send money to IMF, to Treasury, the Federal Reserves, to banks, to people through loans, through judges, through administration, and through police, to sheriffs, through confiscation, and in any way, however is that happening. So basically, at some level, some judges may know about this, but they are favoring the banks, and the court is favoring the banks, and they're acting as beneficiaries of these trusts, and they're not informing the real beneficiaries about it at all. So you don't know about it. There have been people who are dealing with it. You can research about it through looking for information about the straw man. And this is how it is possible that this document is the highest form of legal instrument in the world, because by all of those decrees that they created, we all report to them. They are saying through the multiple appeal that they are not below the law. I mean, if you're in any country, if you are recognized by the United Nations, if you're recognized by United States, if you have an office anywhere, if you have a bank account anywhere, you report. You're connected to the Vatican, and that's how it's created. I don't understand everything. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it properly, but this is the best of my understanding. So I can tell you how it affected me and my personal experience with this document, because I have done it. There is a certain way of how you sign it. You sign it with your initials, because these are your royal initials. And first of all, you don't sign it as you normally sign it, like you're signing bank accounts and stuff like that, because you are reimbursing all the time this energy stream that you're connected with without knowing. This is how I just explained how they hijacked our consent, and they connected you to the intent that has been created in the 11th century, because they knew exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I don't know how it has been happening before, because this ancient practice of Leviticus and stuff like that. It existed before, but this is how it is. You have to take back your consent and take it back to yourself. So your royal seal is the only thing that you have is actually your DNA. So all of the agreements with the other side are signed with blood. This is how they sign their how they seal their documents. Not documents, they don't have documents. It's how they seal their stuff, because this is how you give them consent and tell that they own you. And this is why they take your blood from 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 a child from the heel, because I don't know why the left heel. I don't understand everything, and I don't understand why the heel, not somewhere else, because I don't know about those practices. I didn't research it, but it's because you create a blood covenant, so that you can break the blood covenant. You pretty much do it in the same way, but you also prove that you are alive, and you need a witness to witness you signing it, because they are witnessing that you are alive, and you are signing and sealing your document. And this is a document for yourself. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays with you. Nobody is doing anything with it. And if you don't want to use it in a court, you don't have to translate it or do anything with you. Your own copy for yourself is enough, because it's basically a spiritual tool. And once you do it, you have proclaimed your intent, and it's valid in all dimensions. And I know that's the truth, because I've done it. But I'm explaining all this for the people that can be a little bit put off with some of the things, because if you're scared of the way how it's been sealed, it means that you have created a blood covenant with somebody, and mostly with the other side in the past. I didn't need much explanation. This is something you need to feel into. I was explained about it later, and like I said, I translated for the people from around this area to use it, because it's a different procedure here. So if you want to use it, you have to translate it first, and this way you have your original document in your language, and it's not about the language, but if you want to use it in court, you need it in your language. So somebody who is able to paste the codes and bring down the code into the document would be much better to translate and just go into the legal official court translator and something like that, which is required here. So your witness here is like a notary. They witness you signing it, and they witness you that you're alive. And this is what it actually means. So if you do not want to use it in court, you don't need to notarize it. But if you want to use it and show it and serve it to somebody, you would have to notarize it. This also means you're taking back your um, um, dark, corrupted things back to yourself too, because it combines dark and light in this way. Uh, you don't have to do it, uh, but it's different. The notarizing thing is different in each country, so I cannot advise you in this, but I can say that I mean, I will do it for mine, because of if needed, because of the lineage, and the exploring of the lineage needs to be official at certain points. So if that's needed, for myself personally, I don't need it, but for other things that are in the lineage and that are belonging to the lineage, that actually belongs to everybody and not to the people who have stolen it, I might have to do it. So I'm saying this because all of the things that have been happening to me are because of that, and know they knew before me who I am. I don't yet know they do, and they know what they know better than me. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, this is just trying. They're running on their own programs, and I'm just trying to liberate myself from all these self-imposed and others imposed programs. So it's it's a process. So having said all that, the signing and sealing of this document for yourself is a process in itself. It's a psychological process, and it's a spiritual process. And it lasted for about a month or so with me. Well, no, actually, it lasted from February, because the first time I heard about it was in February, because even before all of this happened. And I didn't do it then because I couldn't. My brain couldn't possibly wrap around everything I was hearing here. But when I was listening a presentation about it, that night I had a dream about a being who was in white. I saw him from the back, and it was after um, the astral travels to the tunnel and helping the children. That happened after. Um, so I saw that being from behind. He was wearing white. He was in white. He had white poncho. It was a poncho, but it was in white. And he had something around his head, like a scarf or something, but it was wrapped around his head. It was golden, and he was carrying something in his hand, like a document. He was carrying it like this, like he was showing it. He was holding it like this high, and I was walking behind him, and a set of those beings that I saw in dreams. It was horrible. I mean, I've never seen something like that, and I I don't know. I ended up there. I don't know what was that about. I just remembered that bit. So it was. I mean, I didn't even sign. I didn't even finish the process. I just started the process that at that moment. Everything that I've been speaking about in previous videos, everything that I found out, uh, was instigated by this process, and everything it's going to be possibly happening to you too. That everything that you didn't know until then, and that has to come out so that you witness it, understand it, and let it go and liberate yourself, is going to come out. And there's no use of you fighting against it, because it doesn't serve you anymore. It's going to be hard, but it serves you better if you allow it, no matter how painful it is, because you have been putting it on the carpet, and others have been adding to it by making you not remember what has actually happened to you, and why all this is happening to you, and why can you still have cords and attachments, and bad things happen, and you don't understand how bad things happen, no matter how much you work and your energy goes somewhere, and you don't you feel like you're making one step forward and three steps back, or you're feeling like you're making a whole lot of money for somebody else, and nothing, you're stuff like that, whatever. Different scenario for everybody, but they're basically placing difficulties on you so that you cannot lift your head and go and just go free. And this is liberating. So when I got the first bit, uh, that I have to agree, uh, I the non-disclosure agreement, I had a dream about the Pope, and I didn't understand. I mean, it's not in my cultural settings, and I didn't understand why was that there. But what I understood later on is that, like I spoke, that I had something in my lower back. It looked like a small mine. I had the same thing here. Or I don't know how actually. Yeah, as much as I understood, it's a device. It's a, in not physical, but it's ethereal, and it collects your energy. It creates problems in your body, and it's placed in you so that it's programmed to control you, and this is what they run, but it also collects your energy. So when you have a kundalini rising and awakening, you don't basically get to receive all of your energy. It goes somewhere. They steal it from you in this way. And one of the things that has happened is that has been removed. Not immediately. It doesn't just disappear like this when you sign it, but it gets removed. Some, yes, they put them on the table and they have an operation. not to me. There were wounds in my inner body and my astral body mostly, and those wounds needed to be healed. And it's a gradual process because there are also things that I need to understand, and to those wounds they plug into you to like you're a battery for them. I don't know exactly how many people, beings, or clones or whatever, but many. Uh, yeah, and one other thing that happened when I signed it. Uh, um, I was being blocked. I didn't have, like, I was supposed to sign it. I mean, first of all, I couldn't find anybody to be my witness because people didn't understand the concept of it. I asked 5 or 6 people who were my closest friends, or I consider them to be close to me. But this has shown me something also about that too. Um, and they refused. And I mean, as if I was asking God knows what, and I was asking for my liberation. Then somebody offered. um, a friend, a sister from Belgium. So we did it on Skype. So you can do your process on online. So basically, it's a little bit different, but you have to scan, copy, and but they have to witness you, and they can witness you on the screen. So it can be done in this way too. And yeah, I'm ever so grateful because it really, I mean, with all the attacks that I was experiencing, God knows what would have happened, because the scenarios that have been before were not only that they were not in my best interest, but were destructive. So yeah. Um, then I saw the horse sign in my hometown, which is very strange. Like it appeared on the commercial as Wall Street. Well, it's a street commercial or something. I don't know what. It was on a booking place and a gaming place. But it said the Eye of Horus, and it was the Eye of Horus, and it kept appearing afterwards, very much in different ways. Even when I was posting the other video, there was a movie about Horus on TV. Uh, yeah. So that was strange. That was a sign for me because first of all, it's a very Orthodox city, so it's not very common something like that to appear there. Secondly, it was not there the day before because I walked all the time there. So either that I didn't pay that much attention, but it was, it just wasn't there. There were other omens. Then that day there was a storm coming on, which it was the storm when we were finishing our signing and sealing process. There was a lot of lightning around, and then that night there was thunder and storm, and I have connection with the thunder and the storm, and it was so loud. It sounded like the Jericho trumpet. It was like it felt very celebratory. And um, very celebratory, yes, and very noble. But I also saw that night a lot of people. I saw a meeting, an online meeting with a guy who was basically following me around astrally, and he was conducting the meeting, but mainly women were in this meeting. I'm assuming priestesses of the other side, and they were. I think they were trying to reconnect. Yeah, well, maybe that's just my mind playing games, but that's what it. Maybe just it's interpreting of what I saw, but that's what I saw, and the energy that I was feeling was not nice. But basically, I had a very big headache because they were trying to, up into, like when you plug your iron or the lamp into something. So, What happened then during that day when I was coming back to Belgrade, and for some reason I needed to do it before coming here. Um, well, I understand why. I had to put gloves. They wouldn't let me on a bus without gloves and a mask on, which I didn't wear at all. So when I did that, I fell asleep, and I felt something connecting to my hands, because that's how usually that wakes me up, because somebody connects to my left hand usually. And I was researching a lot what's happening and who that is. And I mean, I have my own notions, but that kind of stopped. But in that moment when I fell asleep, I felt something connected to my right hand, and I woke up and I said in my head, "I do not consent." Something snapped in that moment, but it snapped on a bus, and the bus broke, and it had to stop to be fixed. It lasted for a little while only, but it was kind of, the energy was not so that was significant for me. The other thing, it was that you remember that I wore like a red thread around my left hand, and I didn't notice that I don't have it around my hand. Like only when I came here, and maybe 2 or 3 days later, I woke up and I noticed that I don't have it, and I didn't take it off myself, and it didn't fall off itself because I would find it. So things were happening, and this is a powerful liberation tool, and I'm witnessing it here. I'm telling you that it is safe for you to use it, and it is okay for you to use it. It's needed for some of us. For yeah, it would be great if most of us use it, but for some of us, it's very needed to use it. And I've been told in my dreams by some 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 people that don't understand it properly, and this is what I'm doing it in English again, so that they can some of those who don't understand Serbian version can understand this better. So basically, like I said, anyone who tries to do something to you, like I have been attacked, but it seems like those who are doing it, those who are not giving up, are not understanding that they're breaking the law. They're breaking the jurisdiction. They're breaching the divine jurisdiction, because I am under divine jurisdiction right now. And I'm not sure if I'm understanding properly who that is, because this time around it might just as well be undiscriminating, but this is recognized in all of dimensions. So if they cannot make an offer to you, of course they're going to try and do other things to you and attack you. But this also means they're not above nobody is above divine law. This document and everything I just told you also tells you that there is no law in earth. There is no law anywhere. You just think you're protected by the law, and it should be like that, but it usually isn't, because everything and everyone is pretty much corrupt and corruptible. So this just gives you protection. It gave me a shield. I didn't have a shield, and I think pretty much none of us has a shield around here on this earth, or a shield, because we all have wounds from past lives. We all have we have wounds from this life, and our energies with all the manipulations and the depths of illusion has been diminished. So we don't have a proper shield. Well, maybe the shield is not the right word. It's an armor. This is an armor of God. This gives you an armor. And I have felt it because they've been trying repeatedly. And the last week before this video, I mean, they haven't been successful. And this morning, they have been stretching it. And I felt like I saw myself, like my body part have been, somebody was trying to remove my body part and stretch my body. So they were stretching it. And I know this is the images that somebody sends me in dreams so that I believe them. So basically, you create them because you believe them, you buy into it. But I was doing other things. But um, this is to tell those people, beings, or whoever that is, that they're breaking the divine jurisdiction, and they are not they're infiltrating, they're invading the sovereignty, my sovereignty, and divine sovereignty. And there will be consequences. Nobody is above divine law. And if there's certain, I mean, there have been people that I've been seeing, and like I said in the last video, I'm very tempted to name them uh, in publicly, especially one particular person, female person. I don't know if you think you are above God. How can you even imagine that anyone is above God? And if you think that you're serving the other side, you are being manipulated because they know very well that they are serving God in their own way. Nobody is above God. There are certain things that are just not allowed. And it's your programs. You're running on programs. You're running your traumas. You are not doing good to yourself. I don't know whether I should be sorry for you or I don't know because I know very well that those people are traumatized themselves too, that they are manipulated and lied to. Nobody can be free from karma, the lessons of karma. These are lies. These are lies that they serve you. These are lies that they serve you to make you an offer so that you do things for them and work for them. There is nothing, especially now with all the everything that's going on the upper planes with light troops and light ships that are around. You've been lied to, and you're not allowed to create portals and get out or to create new timelines or stuff like that. It can't happen anymore if it has been happening in the past. So even those are lies because those laws they would function only on earthly in 3D plane. In other planes they don't. They don't have jurisdiction there. It's divine jurisdiction there. And nobody is above God. I don't know how can you place yourself above God. What do you what do you think was going to happen? What do you think your own soul is going to say to you for all this? Because it's not your soul doing it, it's your ego. And mind you, I said that souls do have ego. Not all souls are pure. Not all souls are mature. Mature souls do this, and oh, there is a soul of ego of a soul. This is why there is something we are calling the soul evolution, and this is a tool for soul evolution, for the ascension. The ascension is the evolution of the soul. It's just that we're doing it collectively. At a certain point, we are asked to do it one by one because it's an individual process. And of course, everybody will ascend. This also means that everybody will go to their own levels of development. Not we're not all on the same level of development. And when we grow into a certain level of development, we grow in our own pace. But this also means we can lose our stripes and we can descend. And what I've seen, I really wouldn't wish anybody to be in those realms. Hey, it's your own call, it's your own decision. So this also means that you're breaking the law, because I said this is recognizable by the earthly courts too. And this is not something I did. This is I'm just talking about it. This is created with by people who have expertise in this, who are former lawyers, former judges, They have experiences of their own and the reasons why they created this document. They have used it, and it can be used in court if you choose to do so for certain reasons. But you can only do it, for very serious things, like you want to, when you're a child that's been abducted or uh, taken by the court for any reason, or you want to save your child from an abuser, or you want to save your life, or you want to save your property, or serious stuff like that. Not for any for other reasons. How it can be used in court, I don't know. It's going to be available in the webpage. You can find all the information about it there, or contact uh, people who know more. Or um, I can. So I don't do that, and I don't have more information about it, but it can be used. But this also means that it's a break of trust, and the list of it is not exhausted. So why is all this happening? Actually, uh, I've been mentioning about our soul, our energy, that we have those beings. They don't have the ability to create, and we have the ability to create energy. Like our bodies create 1.4 volts of electricity, and throughout everything we do and create, we can alone, if we had all our energy, like light up one entire city, just one being. It's just that our energy goes around somewhere else. Um, it's about that. It's about us being a battery for certain beings. Um, what was I going to say? Yes, the other thing you should not mix is that you should not. This is not a redemption tool. So if you want to use this like to hide your criminal activity, or you've done bad things to people, you've targeted people, you've doing things like it's being done to me or to those children and stuff like that, um, you cannot use it. You can use it, you can sign it, but this automatically means you're changing sides, that you're not working for the ones that you have previously signed your contract with, and that you are, because this agreement you don't make with anybody. It's with the divine light, and it's mentioned there. So you're automatically working for the light. You're working for the divine mother and father. So you have to be in service to others, not in service of yourself, and to the service to self system, whatever that means. So in case you thought you can abuse it to, I don't know, hide yourself, or do harm to somebody else, or molest somebody else with it, so you know that there will also be consequences for that, and that you're in the spotlight, and you basically are being called to responsibility and accountability. And you're going to be called anyways, but this means that you cannot hide anything. So this doesn't liberate you from your psychological processes, your spiritual processes, nor your karma. You still have to go through it. It just have means you're doing it consciously, and you are redeeming yourself with your deeds, with your actions, and with your heart. This is not a document for redemption. It doesn't redeem anybody. It didn't redeem me. It just helped me in certain areas so that I'm not being attacked at it, and so that I never felt so present in my body, and it felt like all of the little, I don't know, pieces of my puzzle are coming back together, and those who were observing energetically, by with spiritual vision, what was happening with me saw it, like all small puzzle pieces were coming back and sticking to me, and like I said, they couldn't again came back. They're trying. They're still trying. I can't even believe that they're still trying after everything that I've said. And I had to make it public like this because they're not stopping. It's I I have the right to decide about my own body, about my own energy, about my abilities. My abilities are mine. My codes are mine. They're given to me for a reason, not to somebody else for a reason. And mind you, they cannot use it. Mind you, the ones who were stealing the energy are going a little bit crazy from it because that kind of energy is coming down anyways, and you cannot handle it. So I don't really understand what you're doing. I don't know if you understand yourself. What I do understand that this is a form of addiction. And this is the addiction that you need to be liberated from. So I thought a lot. I thought a lot about whether, not only that I'm going to be making this public, but I had this question: what if somebody tries to manipulate this and use it? I mean, so I've been told that I can create a list of people who I think uh, shouldn't get it and send it to the original creators. And I thought of it, and then I decided I'm not going to do that because if this is somebody's transformational tool, who am I to take that away from anybody? If this is going to transform you, and you think you're going to be using it and manipulating it, and you think you're going to be using it against somebody or harming somebody, and that it transforms you miraculously because, you know, sometimes you have to be a little bit manipulative and act around people so that they help themselves, then by all means do it. Everybody has the right to transform themselves. And I really do wish for all these people who are doing all these things, harming others, to sit and heal themselves. And mm, I asked for the divine to create these rehabilitation centers, physical rehabilitation centers that would help you get rid of help you heal you from the addiction to the dark, to the negative, to the aggression, to destruction, black magic, through power issues, because that's what we really need. This is the corruption. And I really hope. I know that there are in upper planes centers like this exist because you go to be healed if you have done so many bad things, destructive things uh, during life in incarnate form. Before incarnating back, you have to heal. Your energy has to be healed, and then you experience it and have your own lessons in your own skin. I've been speaking about it in my when I gave examples from previous sessions. I pray that something like that exists in a physical form, because I mentioned in some sessions I heard about this higher court, karmic court, higher court, higher than the karmic court. And for me, the feeling of this document, the divine sovereign decree, is that we manifested it. This is it. This is the higher court, and it's recognized in front of that court. This is what it means that it's recognized in all of the dimensions. So this is why I said that I don't understand what why are they stopping and what they're hoping for, because nobody is above God, nobody is above that. And yes, there are things like karmic lessons and stuff like that, but we can always say with our own free will, we don't want to experience something again. I certainly didn't say, "Oh, I'm making this video so that I can experience being attacked and targeted again and stuff like that." I knew that's going to happen, but it didn't stop me. But I don't really know what this hit list means, what it entails, but just in case, so you know if anything happens to me, there are people who can use it. There's a team who knows what's going on. Um, my other relatives and bloodlines, and in any dimension, in any reality, in any any time, and anyone from the lineage can use it. So yeah, I don't know how to better explain to you how powerful this tool is. I was not going to mention and speak about what's going on in now in certain parts of the world, because we have been through the exact same scenario here. We had civil war, and it started in the exactly same way, in the exactly same um, um, somebody's blocking my with the same people, same beings involved, same actors, same actors involved. So I just cannot be talking about something. I mean, I specialized in peace studies, peace development, for God's sake. I have been listening and talking about it for decades, and I just, this is a practical tool. This is something that I'm, doing for the divine. I'm doing this for the divine. I'm giving my energy and my time for something that can liberate each and every one of us, if you decide so, if you choose so. So, me talking about this, me translating it, me experiencing whatever I'm experiencing right now because of it, is me working for the Divine Mother and Father God. And this is why I'm doing it. This is just for, so that you can maybe understand a little bit better and not be afraid of it, and decide for yourself to liberate yourself. My energy is completely different than before. People who sense and see can see, and if you want to, you can, but this would not normally happen, but it happens to me because I decided I'm going to do this publicly. Somebody has to do it anyway. So somebody has to be not only the conduit for the Divine Mother, but the voice. I felt like I didn't have a voice for a really long time, although I worked a lot for the voiceless people, with the foster home children, with the refugee children, with the other marginalized groups. I have been all my life in this group because of my family issues, because of my brother, because you name it. I felt discrimination all over. I experienced discrimination as much as you want it. I have experienced as a Serbian. I don't know if this is racism, but it's, it, I don't know how to call it, but it's something like that. So I have been ostracized because I'm well, maybe ostracized is a strong word, but I have been prejudiced at me because I'm Serbian, because we were considered worse than Hitler at some point, which were also lies told about us because of the fabricated war that destroyed our country, destroyed lives, destroyed futures for many of us. And why am I saying all this? There is a document. I recently discovered that there was in March, and 2 weeks ago, I discovered in March, there was a decree also given by some somebody, some pope. I don't know the name of the pope. That there is like a file. It's open for the public now, with the name of Yugoslavia, which is was my country, the country that I was born in, which contains 130 files. What the hell is in 130 files about this country? And we are not even researching it. Nobody knows about it. There is only one person that is inquiring about it. So you can imagine. I mean, you think they got nothing on us? And you think, I mean, why the hell there were a lot of wars around here? Why the hell? What the hell they wanted from us? Why the hell are these files there? What? Let's think about it. So this is why I feel reluctant on speaking how you shouldn't be judging people over the color of their skin and divide and separation on the soul level. This doesn't exist. You have been all nations, all colors, all gender, all sex for your lifetimes, depending on what you decided to experience. And I'm speaking about it in every video that I share about experiences from my sessions. So it's pointless. If you haven't heard me so far, these games, mind games that they're playing on us to hide what's really hiding behind it. And this is it. Every war, I'm told that every war ever is being led around this. This register in the Vatican, this birth certificate, this, this. This is what they don't want us to know about the children and everything that's being in it. But this is how we are slaves. This is modern slavery. This. You should reclaim it back. You're no slave. I am no slave. My ancestors have been dying in First World War, in Second World War, in the Civil War. We have been dying in the Civil War. My future, I had difficulties in my lives. I couldn't. Everything came hard because of the society that's been destroyed. Because they didn't want to be slaves. We were made one, but our ancestors died because they didn't want to be slaves, and they were going around with this I don't know, I didn't have the proper word in English, the slogan, never a slave. We are slaves. We are slaves without even knowing it, and I just told you how. So there is nothing that anybody can offer you, should offer you, or do to you to make you consent into selling your soul, parts of your soul, or giving away your consent, harming yourself, harming somebody else. And this document is for everybody as long as they are not harming anybody, if they're not manipulating with anybody, and they're not destroying anybody, and they're not doing any evil. So yeah, I should finish now because it's I thought it's not going to be 2 hours long, but it lasted for 2 hours because there was a lot to say. So something's happening with my throat. Thank you for your patience if you have lasted this long and listened to everything that I had to say, but it's really from the depths of my heart and my soul, so that it is time for us to really understand that depth of the illusion we're in, and we're deceived into creating, and we can only liberate ourselves from it one by one, because when you know what you do for yourself, when you liberate yourself, when you help yourself, you're going to be helping everybody else. And I'm seeing it happening, because from the point when nobody wanted to be my witness, people are asking me about it. So it's enough that you only vibrate with the entirety of your energy. Amen.